This is cs952 Introduction to Web Technologies and Design. And now that we have our template created for our website, now that we have a template file, we're going to use that template to generate a whole series of pages for our website. Now the first page that we're going to make, not surprisingly enough, is going to be our home page. So this is how we create a page in Dreamweaver using our template file. We're going to go to File, and we're going to choose New. Now when our New Document dialog window opens, you remember last time we clicked on New Document and we chose HTML and then we selected our Bootstrap framework. This time, rather than creating a new document from scratch, we're going to use a site template. So you click on the button that says Site Templates. Now you may have a lot of different site templates, you may have a lot of websites. In your case, you probably have one website because we're just getting started with Dreamweaver, and you have one site template. And on the right hand side, you'll see a little preview of what your site template looks like. There's a box that you need to keep checked. It should be checked by default. It says Update Page when template changes. This is part of the power of using a template. It says every time you change your template, change all the pages. Want to make sure that this is checked. So I'm going to click Create. And now Dreamweaver creates a new page for us based on our template. It's basically a copy of our site template, but with some very important changes. You'll notice if we scroll up and down here in code view that most of the code is grayed out. There are a few parts that are not grayed out. That's because these are locked regions. These are regions that you can't edit. There are two regions that we can edit. One of them is our main content. Remember, we made this an editable region. We can also edit the title, and it's a little bit hard to tell, but we can also add some JavaScript, but we're not going to be doing that until much later. So what I want to do before I do anything else is change the title of my document. It's very important to keep the titles of our documents relevant. One of the first things that Google does, one of the biggest elements of search engine optimization, is making sure that the title of your web page is relevant to what your web page is all about. So I'm going to change my title to Pencil-Home, because this is going to be the home page for my website, and I'm making my website all about pencils. So I want to go to my File menu and choose Save As at this point. So here is Save As. And I'm going to save this file as index, I-N-D-E-X. Now it is very, very important that you use the name index for this file. You can't call it home page, you can't call it home. You have to call it index, I-N-D-E-X. By default, this is the file that the server is going to look for when someone says, I want to visit your website. The server is going to look for a file called index. And if you don't have a page called index, then your website may not load, or you may make your files, folders, your assets at a security risk, because anybody without an index page to direct people to visit a certain page when they come to your website, they may be able to go and visit parts of your website you may not want them to visit. So it's very, very important you use the name index. Dreamweaver will fill out the rest of the name. This file is going to be called index.html, but for right now you can just give it the name index and you're going to be all set. So I'm going to click on Save. Now my index file is saved. I'm going to close this file, and then I'm going to continue to create some more pages. We're going to create a gallery page, a history page, and a media page right next. The last thing we did was create one page from our template file and work with that, and that was our index page. And now we're going to move forward and really get busy with creating some pages for our website. So the process is the same. I've got my file open in front of me, and my Dreamweaver session. Now I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to choose New. And again, I'm going to create a new page from my site template. So I'm going to choose Site Templates, and here we are, Pencil. This is my project, and I just click on Create. Now this page is going to be my gallery. I'm going to use this for a gallery of photos. The first thing I want to do before I do anything else is change the name of the page. Right now it just says Pencil. I'm going to say Pencil-Gallery. Very important to name our pages. Now I'm going to save the page, and I can save the page however I'd like to. I'm going to click on the little Save button up here. And Dreamweaver wants to know what I want to name it. All I have to do is type in gallery, Gallery. That's all it takes is just gallery. And then hit Save. And the page is saved. I can now close the page. Now I'm going to create another new page, and this is a shortcut here. Once we've gone through this procedure once, rather than going to the File menu, you can just hold down the Control key on your PC keyboard, hold down Control plus N, Control and N at the same time, and that's a shortcut for the new document window. And Dreamweaver picks up where we left off. Right here we are, we're looking at Site Templates, and I do not have to push or click on the Create button that we see in front of us. I don't have to click here if I don't want to. I can just hit Enter on the keyboard. And again, Dreamweaver is going to make a new page for us based on our template. In this page, I'm going to call History. So again, before I do anything else, I'm going to go down to the bottom left-hand corner, and where it says Pencil, I'm going to type a dash and then type History. And now, again, I can use keyboard shortcuts if I like. I don't have to use my mouse and keep moving around the screen. If you just hold down the Control key on your keyboard, Control plus S. So I'm going to hold down Control and S, and the Save window opens for me, and I'm going to type History, History. That's all I need to type is just History. Dreamweaver will fill in the rest, and again, don't need to use the mouse. I can just press the Enter, or if you're on a Mac, hit the Return key, and the page is saved. Now I'm going to close my History page. We have one page left to create, and that is our Media page. So again, I will use the mouse movements this time instead of taking the shortcuts. I'm going to click on File, and you can see that the new menu, the shortcut for New Document, is Control N. Control N is the same thing as what we're doing right now. And then the page opens up, and if I hit the Enter key on the keyboard, it's going to be the same thing as clicking on Create, but I'll click on Create this time. And Dreamweaver builds another page based on our template, and I want to call this page Media. So I'm going to click down here in the lower left-hand corner, space dash MEDIA for Media. And I can click on my Save button, or I can go to File and choose Save, or Save As, or Save All. Any kind of save will work. And then I get my Save As File dialog box, and I'm going to call this one Media, MEDIA. And this time I'll click on Save, or I could have just simply pushed Enter on the keyboard, and it would have worked just the same. Okay, my page is saved. I'm going to close the page,